Hi, seventh graders. Today's Friday, April 9th, and today for language arts, you need to find your notebook and your notes over logos, pathos, and ethos. You're going to need those today for our activities and for our quiz. Let's get started. Welcoming activity. Who would you trust to drive you to the hospital in an emergency? So it's a dire situation, you're in deep trouble, you have to turn to someone to help you get to the hospital. What's your choice? Think carefully and then go ahead and shout your answer right now. Our target today. I can determine the types of appeals used in an argument. So you're going to be determining if something is logos, pathos, or ethos. And to do that, we're going to do some examples and some review together. I'm going to model some of that thinking for you. You're going to take a quiz where you identify those appeals yourself. And then to end our class time together today, you can choose if you would rather free read or free write. So let's start with this visual argument. This is a Nike ad, and this is Serena Williams over here. If you're not sure who Serena Williams is, she's a tennis player, and she is the winningest tennis player of all time. She's won more major tournaments than any other tennis player, male or female. And she is in her late 30s, and recently after having a baby, she came back to the tour and has begun winning again, which is kind of unusual for an athlete her age. And so the tagline says, greatest athlete ever. And if you look really closely, I notice female has been crossed off. So originally greatest female athlete ever, but female has been crossed off. So if I'm thinking about the appeals that I see in this visual argument, I notice first of all ethos, because she's a famous athlete, so kind of that celebrity endorsement. And then I think there's some pathos in there, right? Kind of wanting us to feel a little bit proud, maybe, of Serena Williams and her accomplishments, maybe a little bit, I don't know, like a little fired up that people try to qualify her as a great female athlete when really she's just a great athlete, period. So I don't see any logos because I'm not getting any facts about Nike, about their products or anything like that. So this is showing me pathos and ethos. Now we're going to practice and review with some shorter written arguments. And so we're going to read through a couple of examples together. I'm just going to kind of walk you through, again, my thinking. I want you to see and hear kind of what's happening in my brain as I'm explaining these different types of appeals. And so when we read these, first thing you're always looking for is the claim, the author's position on the issue, what they're trying to convince us of or what they want us to do. Then we're going to look for the supports that they give. Are they using facts, statistics, examples, anecdotes, and then pathos, ethos, or logos? Okay, example number one. Example number one. This is a book review that was written about a new book that just came out recently. And this book is called Taking Forever Away, which right away, that sounds so dramatic. I really need to read it. And the author of this new book is Charlotte Horsenheimer. Now, Charlotte Horsenheimer wrote the book. She did not write the book review. So this is like something off of Goodreads or Amazon. So this is by someone who had just read the book and is responding to it, okay? So listen closely for the claim in this argument. You must read this amazing new book. It is about raising horses on a ranch. And even though this is a work of fiction, the author is an expert in horses and knows exactly how it feels to be raised around them. I laughed and cried multiple times at the heartfelt story, and I know you will too. All right, pause this video so that you can figure out what is the claim, what is the writer's position, what are they trying to convince us of? Hopefully you discovered that the claim is that you need to read this book, right? So now what kind of support does the writer offer? Well, What I notice is some ethos, right? I notice that Charlotte Horstenheimer is an expert in the topic of raising horses. And so that makes me think, well, she grew up around horses. She has a lot of knowledge and experience with horses. So this means that I can trust what she has to say on this topic. I know that she's going to create a reliable portrait or picture of life on this ranch, right? Makes me want to read it, makes me want to continue to learn more about this book. So if you had ethos, good job. Example number 2. Okay, this one's a little longer. So again, we're going to read it and then we're going to try to figure out what is the author's claim? What are they trying to convince us of? Dear Mom, I really think it's time for you to get me my very own puppy. I've been researching this and I found that kids having pets can lead to such positive things as building responsibility, and it helps kids become more caring and empathetic toward others. I would obviously be the one responsible for feeding and walking the dog, so this will not become a burden to you or the rest of our family. Another reason I want a dog is because ever since Grandma's dog Tootsie died, oh geez, we got a dead dog, I felt a little lonely and empty inside. Tootsie was kind of like a best friend to me, and the loss has been tough on me. Getting a new dog could really help fill this void. Thanks for your consideration. All right, pause the video. What's this kid trying to convince his mom of? Yes, if you said he wants his own dog, you are correct. Now, this kid is obviously an expert at parental manipulation because I'm noticing that they use more than one type of appeal. So, what do you guys see here? Do you see logos, pathos, or ethos? The first thing I see is some logos. In that first paragraph, the writer is giving some logical reasons to get a dog, right? So if we look back at that paragraph, we see that the benefits are there, right? He'll be more responsible, he'll be more caring, he'll be the one in charge of the dog. So he's trying to provide his mom with some logical, just really simple, concrete reasons why the dog would be a benefit to him and to their family. But I also see some pathos, right? When he starts talking about poor Tootsie and how sad he was after Tootsie died, he really wants his mom to feel sorry for him, right? And he's hopeful that if he can just make her feel bad enough, she'll take pity on him and she'll get him a dog, right? Because after all, it's going to make him a better person, and then she can feel good about getting him that dog as well. So I didn't see any ethos in this one, but this is a pretty balanced argument between logos and pathos instead. So we've seen examples of all 3 types of appeals. We've seen that in a visual medium as well as in 2 written arguments. So I don't know about you, but I think you're ready for your quiz. Get excited. Okay, so this is how this will work. Virtual students, you need to open the Teams assignment called Logos, Pathos, or Ethos. All right, this is the Teams assignment called Logos, Pathos, or Ethos. And in-person students, you can come up to the front of the room and get a copy of the assignment from the counter. All right. Both groups are more than welcome to use your notes if you would like. All right. If you think that will be helpful, your notes about logos, pathos, and ethos, to have that in front of you, that's just fine. You can use those to help you complete the quiz. Be sure for each question that you're being very thorough as you explain your thinking and show me that you understand how these different appeals are used. Because again, we're practicing this so that we're ready to do this when we evaluate full arguments, as well as when we write our own arguments, okay? So take your time, you have as much time as you wish on this 10-question quiz. Once you are finished, and after you turn in this work, you may free read or free write. It is your choice. If you're choosing to free read, just grab your book, get comfortable. And if you're choosing to free write, you can come back to this slide. Okay, so after the quiz is done, if you choose to free write, you can come back to this slide and do that free writing in the journal section of your notebook. Okay, let me know if you have questions or if you need anything. Good luck.